Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the witnesses for being here. I'm going to start with Chairman Butler. In your testimony, you highlighted how, like all businesses, tribal firms benefit from government structures that are easy to navigate. So what role do you believe the authority established by the Tribal Regulatory Reform and Business Development Act of 2000 can play in streamlining the federal government for tribal businesses?
Well, I think, thank you, Congressman. I think simply identifying those in one location, right? So right now, there are challenges that are identified, but it's fragmented across various departments, and there's no consolidation of it. So we talked earlier about the Tribal Tax Investment Reform Act. That's a very narrow fix on key financial instrument issues that have been regulatory burdens for years. But I mean, there's times 10 of that. And so having one department gather all of that information in one, essentially a resource for all agencies and all tribes to point to and say, these are the regulatory hurdles. And now that we know what they are, and we're all, again, in the canoe paddling in the same direction, we can now address these issues collectively.
And why do you believe the authority has sat dormant within the Department of Commerce?
Just, again, lack of resources, lack of commitment. And that's what we talked about earlier. I mean, that's been an unfunded mandate for 25 years or 24 years. I think that recently were partially funded to do their job. But essentially, there's been no support.
Okay. In my home district of central and eastern Montana, tribal enterprises are critical to the economic success of our reservations and our rural counties. Notably, though, tribal business owners in our state and across the country report significantly higher rates of capital access challenges than average. So what are other areas where federal bureaucracy can be streamlined to support tribal small businesses?
Well, and again, you're teeing me up here for the Tribal Tax Investment Reform Act that I've testified in front of this committee previously on. I mean, that focuses on those specific financial hurdles that tribes are facing. I mean, one of them being tax-exempt bonding. That's limited based on the essential government function test. That's a regulatory threshold that most other governments and municipalities don't deal with, but it's a burden placed on tribes in particular that would be resolved through that legislation and would be identified in this legislation.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I have identified many times access to capital being a limiting factor, especially in entrepreneurship, and I'd love to see that solved better in Indian country. Why is entrepreneurship in Indian country, or why do you believe it is critical to supporting the continued sovereignty of our tribes?
Well, I think entrepreneurship is lifeblood to most economies, right? I mean, that's where innovation comes from, where jobs are created. And so when you have small communities that have limited economic opportunity, having entrepreneurship and family members and citizens, as Chairman points out, bringing those jobs back to our reservations, bringing them back to our territories, and creating an economic base that then provides for additional economic opportunities. I mean, it's a critical component to economies globally.
Right. I appreciate your answers there, and thank you all again for being here. And on that, Mr. Chair, I yield the remainder of my time.
The gentleman